When they were shooting the Batman, they said, cameras, action.
I just feel like it's not clean.
It's not too hard to follow for people like us.
Why do I want to go watch that movie?
What did you guys think about how Adam Warlock looked? Because I have complaints with it.
Welcome to Backseat Directing.
Where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew
and Aaron.
And today again with our guest, Zach.
We post episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And today we are just going to have one of our Let's Talk sessions.
3, 2, 1, action. Boys, here we are again.
Let's talk.
We're just hanging out now. We had extra time after recording our trilogy draft, and we decided we might as well just hit record and talk.
Go back and check out that trilogy draft if you haven't watched it already. It was so much fun to record, and I've laughed so much, and they stole some good picks for movie trilogy, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun having three of us kind of bounce back and forth off each other, and especially when we do like a draft.
I had the best list.
Oh, get out of here. Chill out. Andrew, I do want you to move a little bit closer to your mic.
Second best.
Yeah,
which
behind
is
mine.
An honorable place to be.
Behind mine. All right. What's new in the world of movies, boys?
Well,
what should we talk about?
Two of the newest things that I've seen is the Ant-Man Quantumania trailer, and most recently, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer.
All right, yeah, that's a good place to start. The holiday special just wrapped up.
All three of us have seen both of the trailers. So, which one are you guys more excited for? Which trailer did you like more?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Holy smokes, that trailer, like the color and like the emotion too in the trailer.
I'm excited
without it spoiling the whole movie.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of Rocket too. His backstory.
When you talk about the color, the darkness reminded me of what they did with eventually in the Harry Potter franchise. I think maybe starting with Order of the Phoenix, they did what's called a bleach bypass. It might have started with Prisoner of Azkaban, but it looks like the bleach bypass with those like darker colors and like the grainy look. I think that I would absolutely agree that the Guardians trailer got me more excited, even though I'm not generally like the biggest Guardians fan. I don't love the first two movies, but I'm way more excited for that movie as of right now based on what we saw. I love a good trailer that doesn't give too much away. And that trailer did not spoil the plot of the film for me.
Yeah, I will not watch any more trailers for either of these movies.
Yeah, I'm kind of bandwagoning with you guys and also trying to, because I used to watch like trailer breakdowns and stuff, and now I'm trying to kind of avoid those videos because I feel like I kind of already know what's going to happen in the movie when I see it. But to jump back real quick, the color thing that I was talking about was the use of color, not it being darker. There's like a scene where they're like all in a different color like spacesuit, and the world outside is like super colorful. And that looked to me, it reminded me a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy game, because that game is like really kind of like it's beautiful. Not to say it's the best game, but it looks really good.
I guess it's hard for me to describe because I don't know as much about like photography and things like that. But the bleach bypass doesn't necessarily mean that like it's like dark or colorless. It just changes the way that like your eye perceives the colors.
I gotcha. I thought you were saying it was dark. Yeah. I don't.
It's not dark in the same way like that. The Batman is dark. It's just like
that is dark.
Like a filter, kind of almost. But I do really like the different colored spacesuits, and we've already previously talked about how they have like the more comic, which is just different, not the colorful spacesuits, but the comic accurate, that like navy blue style suit that they were all wearing. I kind of think it looks better in the comics, but it's really cool always to see something pulled off the page.
Yeah, when they were shooting the Batman, they said, "Cameras, action."
Forgot the lights.
Yeah. No, but I agree. The comic accurate suit I thought was really cool. I think they should have rolled a little harder and made it more vibrant, like a brighter blue and kind of maybe a brighter maroon kind of color. But it looks cool. It definitely looks cool, man. Yeah. Baby Rocket.
like Aaron said too, I'm so excited to see the story that they touch on with Rocket. Also, is that Rocket a child of Rocket species, a child of Rocket, or is that a flashback of Rocket?
I think it's supposed to be a flashback of Rocket.
Because I think James Gunn, like we talked about in an earlier episode, the holiday special episode.
Rocket's species is a raccoon.
Yeah,
He's just an Earth raccoon.
He's an experiment. So does he actually have a species of raccoons, or is he a
From my knowledge of the character, he's just
He always
Earth
says
raccoon.
that he's not a raccoon, and he's highly offended when anyone calls him.
I'll kill you. But yeah, I think that so the High Evolutionary is what's been deemed like pointed out as like the main villain of the Guardians new movie, and then probably we'll get Adam Warlock as like a secondary antagonist or in some capacity working with them eventually. But the High Evolutionary sounds really interesting. I think the plot that I would like to see out of it is if he's experimenting with different species as the High Evolutionary, trying to find like the perfect being, i.e. maybe like something that could tie into Adam Warlock, but he's like pushing the bounds and like we see this mixed animal with human stature kind of species when the trailer starts off. If he's experimenting on these people and the Guardians are stepping in to get involved, then that ties in not only to Adam Warlock but to Rocket's tragic backstory. I think we could have like a deeply emotional story and a really interesting kind of like dynamic and a really interesting like did I already say backstory? Really interesting backstory for Rocket.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you why you are more interested in this one than the other two.
That's why.
But I think you kind of just answered it.
The villain, the storyline that it seems like they're setting up. If they go with that, I think that experimentation and that concept of evolution is scientifically really interesting concept for the story to like kick off from.
I thought it was cool how they rolled out the High Evolutionary ad. I'm pretty sure it was San Diego Comic-Con. I know it was one of the bigger Comic-Cons.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and they had him come out in full costume
Yes.
and character too, and he was like talking smack to the audience and stuff. I thought that was like neat that they did it that way.
I thought he looks really cool too, like the prosthetic makeup they're doing.
Yeah.
I would have been so amped up. Could you imagine to be in that audience?
Right, oh man.
Yeah, can we also talk about how jacked Jonathan Majors is?
Oh my God.
gosh.
Well, have you seen the Creed 3 trailer?
Yes, I have.
Whew.
We talked about that in one of our other episodes.
That movie
Man,
looks like it's gonna be
I almost
fantastic.
missed the rest of the trailer because I couldn't see around his pecs.
his
I have-
abs like stick out like an inch from his stomach.
I didn't watch the second one, but that trailer was like, man, I gotta go watch the second one now to get ready for the third
For
movie.
Creed 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I really liked both of the Creed
I haven't seen the
movies.
second one.
Yeah, they're good.
The first one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the first one as well. I think Jonathan Majors is really up and coming star. I think he'll make Kang the Conqueror really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think Kang is interesting in source material, but I'm not that interested in the live action adaptation I've seen thus far. I was not. The trailer for Ant-Man has a lot of implications and it's exciting, but I just didn't feel that magic watching the trailer. Like I felt more drawn into the Guardians trailer, whereas like I do think it's interesting. What do you guys think about the concept of the artifacts being connected to Kang? Because when they approach his city, there's like all the rings and stuff that kind of have a reminiscent texture and color pattern to the bangle of Miss Marvel and the 10 rings with Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. I think they're definitely trying to weave everything together still, obviously, because it's the MCU. But this phase has felt more disconnected than the previous 3 phases. So I'm sure they're trying to find those through lines, and they already have kind of set up like, oh, we don't really know about the 10 rings, and also we don't really know about this bangle. So tie it all together. Why not? I'm fine with that. One thing I think is really cool about Kang is like just the nature of the character. We're gonna be able to see like Kang, but different Kang. Like
So many different acting opportunities
right,
for Jonathan
that's what I'm saying.
Majors
Jonathan
to
Majors,
portray
which is a
different-
talented actor, he's gonna be able to kind of like hit all those. Like in Loki, he's like playful. He's playful, but ominous. And then in this one, it seems like he's gonna be more. What do they
like
call
a
it?
stoic leader.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say not like mischievous, but like he's
political?
Nah, I don't know. I can't think of it. If I think of it, I'll say it. But
It's cool too that
looming.
it's cool too that we get this. It's a different introduction than how Thanos was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like with Thanos, we got like bits and pieces of it kind of sprinkled in, and now we're getting a lot of Kang. It seems like, you know, because we already saw him in Loki. Now we see him in Ant-Man.
Loki season 2.
Yeah,
is confirmed. Yeah.
Right, and then we'll see him obviously in the Avengers movies as well that are going to be coming out. Did you guys see the news that Marvel announced that they're kind of slowing things down?
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
They must have been listening to Backseat directing because we've been saying that. We've been saying that we'd wish that they would like
all those emails to Kevin Feige.
Yeah, like they would stop putting so much emphasis on getting things out so quickly and doing unnecessary shows and projects and put that time and effort and money into making movies that are high quality that we care about more.
Yeah. To be fair to them,
give Moon Knight a movie.
Yeah. To be fair to them, that's the only way to really do it is to try, assess, and then move forward with the plan of action from there. So they tried doing things this way. They tried the TV shows, and now they're listening to the audience.
Right.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Exactly. I don't know. So something I wanted to touch back on, going back to the Guardians 3 trailer. What did you guys think about how Adam Warlock looked? Because I have complaints with it.
I think he looked pretty fine. We also only see like maybe like shoulders up.
I don't look too much into trailers. I mean, however they look in the trailer could be completely different than how they look in the actual show too.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
I don't. Now that I think of it, I don't even know if I watched like the whole trailer all the way through, or if I saw like a little thing on TikTok or something. You know, like I really do try to stay away from trailers. Like if I know I'm already gonna watch the movie, like the point of the trailer is to get you interested in the movie. I'm already gonna go watch it.
Right.
You know, so like I try to stay out of it as much as I can. So I don't even remember what he looks like, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he looks cool.
I think he looks a little overly spray painted and fake. Like I think he compared with the people who were golden in Guardians 2. Mm-hmm. You can see like the lines across his forehead. It just looks like a person with. It doesn't look like that's the natural tone of him. It looks like he was spray painted.
You're saying they pulled the gold people off better in 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
Like
maybe they'll brush it up and touch it up, you know?
Like Nebula and Drax too, like that looks like their skin. This to me looks like his skin was spray painted a different color.
Yeah. Well, they're probably listening to us right now.
So
you know, they probably have their notifications set whenever we post to YouTube. They get a little notification, and whoever else is listening, make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're on all of the social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Hit us up.
Yeah, otherwise how are you going to know when the new episodes come out? Well, a smooth transition. You got to have that notification bell on.
One thing that I think is another thing that's gonna be interesting and plot point in this Guardians 3 movie is in the comic books.
Get a little closer to the mic.
In the comic books, Adam Warlock has an Infinity Stone in his forehead too.
Which I don't know how that would play out at this point because our universe's Infinity Stones are destroyed.
Yeah, and they've already done the Infinity Stone in the forehead thing, so.
with Vision,
yeah,
and they've already returned the other ones. So
it could be some type of like, I don't know, like White Vision he still could shoot a laser beam from his forehead, but it's not the Soul Stone anymore, or whichever stone he had.
So potentially the Infinity Stones could repair themselves if they like predate the universe. Maybe they're like a necessity, and the universe naturally rebirths them.
It is a comic book movie. Yeah, nothing's ever final.
They can do whatever they want, or this little what do you want to call it? This little element in his forehead could be something to do with the other artifacts that it seems like Kang might be connected to.
Yeah.
The implication at the end of Shang-Chi is that his 10 rings are like sending a signal out. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're going to get a connection to that with Kang at some point, if not already getting it in the Quantumania.
Well, the Shang-Chi 2 title is seemingly leaked, and it's like Wreckage of Time. Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time. So That's a pretty good assumption that you're making, I think, because Kang, time traveler, wreckage of time. We don't know where the Ten Rings have come from.
I feel like
I don't know.
I feel like we're having just a Marvel conversation, which I am happy with. So I want to go into that vein, and I want to ask you guys a question that we were actually talking about the other day, which is, who do you think is the next logical person to step up and take the lead of the Avengers?
What's your thoughts, Aaron? I have mine in mind.
Zach and I know each other's answers.
Know each other's? Oh man. I mean, I feel like Doctor Strange has kind of been around the longest in terms of like this team, but I just don't see him necessarily leading the group as well as like Captain America or Iron Man did.
R.I.P.
I know. I don't know. I mean, I feel like
you don't want Thor?
Who's that? Haven't heard of her. No, I feel like Spider-Man maybe, but he's kind of young. I feel like they'll keep him like ground level. I don't know. I'm missing someone. Who's your guys's?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I think that not many people would probably agree with my pick, so I'll go first. I would really like to see Daredevil take a leadership role in the Avengers. I think he has leadership roles in the comics and the Avengers and Defenders. And I know it might not be necessarily super in line with what Netflix has shown us so far of a street level, fighter who kind of works alone. But I think there's a big opportunity there in terms of him as a leader. And I always envision like him in the Battle of New York, kind of directing everybody.
I just don't see it happening.
Ability to hear for miles.
I would really like that. I would like him to be more involved. But I definitely don't see him going from a Netflix series to recreating his own series to where he's kind of different and then having him all of a sudden be the leader. I feel like it's kind of out of left field. Well, not for us because we like him so much.
It's not really my projection for what will happen as much as what I wish could happen.
I think that would be really cool. And I would, more Daredevil, more Matt Murdock. Yes, please. I just don't see that happening.
I think he's that morally righteous person like Captain America that wouldn't trade lives or would stand up for the little guy.
How about you, Zach?
Andrew just said it, man. Captain America, Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
I
feel like he's a logical answer.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be the leader. I also, when Andrew and I were talking the other day, I said Doctor Strange, which I think
he's messed up.
He would make
quite
sense,
a bit of things recently.
Well, the thing is too is like
I guess Iron Man did too, but
I don't think he can be the leader because of the way he makes calls. We've seen him basically in Spider-Man. He was like, well, a few lives for the cost of the universe, Yeah. And I feel like the Avengers leader can't be like that. So, and Doctor Strange has to make those calls, like he does in Endgame. Doctor Strange rather. I just watched Black Adam last night. Doctor Strange, he makes the call to basically allow everybody to get snapped for the team to win at 5 years down the road. So he makes those hard calls, and I think that we still have to have that person. So I think that it's going to be Sam Wilson.
Yeah, maybe he'll kind of take up that opposing role that Iron Man had with Chris Evans, Captain America.
It does seem like that would. I mean, that's kind of
they try to balance each other out because Sam Wilson's obviously very morally correct and is I'm not going to take the serum, but I can throw it just as strong as Captain America anyways.
There would be kind of falling back into a comfortable.
Don't know how that works, but whatever.
Because that would be. I mean, Strange is the de facto Iron Man, Tony Stark, and then Sam is the de facto Chris Evans, Captain America. So I think that they could definitely see them falling back into that little comfortable rhythm.
Yeah.
The characters go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I feel like a lot of people might look at Captain Marvel and say she should be the next leader. But I think that, again, kind of with, the same with Doctor Strange, she has such huge obligations that it's going to be hard for her to lead the team. She's left not Earth for
Earth's mightiest hero. She's the galaxy's, the universe's mightiest hero.
Sam Wilson is very much more, I feel connected with humanity and Earth,
protecting Earth.
And he has established relationships with people that would be on the team. Like he knows Spider-Man, he knows
Ant-Man.
I was gonna say War Machine, but yes, he knows Ant-Man.
That's kind of why I don't see Matt Murdock taking up that role, even if I'd want him to, you know. But I would definitely like to see a lot more of Spider-Man, Daredevil, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi. Those are probably like the top 4 right now that I would definitely want to go see another movie for.
Spider-Man's just too young, but I think he is legitimately the perfect choice. Like, I think his character is a good marriage between Iron Man and Captain America, where if he was older, I think he'd be the absolute perfect choice.
Yeah. If they were like, hey, we're doing a Young Avengers movie. Oh, the clear choice to lead that Spider-Man. He's got more experience than most of these like younger characters are setting up. I would love to see that. Yeah. To see Spider-Man lead the Young Avengers.
Their hero journeys all just started in these like TV shows, so he's got way more experience than them.
You know, one thing I'm thinking of right now, She-Hulk, spoiler, introduces the Hulk's son. But in timeline-wise, like how long ago was Ragnarok versus where we're at now? Like it seems like he aged real quick, you know?
We don't know.
Because like Cassie Lang was like around, you know, so it makes sense that she's the age she is now.
We don't know what species his mother was.
Yeah, I was going to say, does he like transform or anything, or is he just always in his Hulk form? Because maybe he's like a, I don't know, 12-year-old kid and he just transformed into his Hulk version. I don't know much about that story.
They explained in Sakaar that time moves differently there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Because when Thor comes through the Bifrost just after Loki, but it's already been days.
That's right. Yeah, Loki had already kind of okay. Well, we'll see.
Right. I like it.
Don't worry, I'll fill up the holes for you guys. Resident Marvel expert over here. Not really. That's Zach.
Is there any conversations outside of Marvel that's going on that's relevant that we want to talk about? Or anything else more in Marvel or DC?
The Flash movie just got moved up a week. It's coming out a week earlier now.
Why would they move it up a week? What's even the point?
I don't know, but keep adding weeks and
maybe other competing movies coming out similar times or something.
They're like we've been pushing it back for years. Take a week. Take the week. You've earned it.
I think what it is I'm pretty sure it's coming out the same month as Volume 3.
They're trying to move it away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I wonder, like, Marvel's like chasing them around, like, oh yeah, you think you're gonna put a movie out in June?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Because I'm pretty sure Guardians.
Iron Man 5. Boom.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
I guess 4, right?
Yeah.
Iron Man 4.
That's fine.
They put no effort into making it, and
They just skip 4 and do 5.
Yeah. Civil War was kind of a 5.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of moving something up a week.
I think it was literally because competition. Because I'm pretty sure Guardians, when the trailer dropped, it was like June 23rd, which is what the Flash's date I think was. So they're like go earlier.
They don't have the wherewithal to move it up a month because they're not prepared enough. But
well, I don't know the release schedules of everything off the top of my head. But
is the Flash movie going to be good?
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to be a mess.
Well, like, so the early
I have no confidence in this movie.
The early screenings and like the people who they have, audiences that signed NDAs and stuff, it seems like everyone is like saying this movie is really, really good. But the problem with this movie is the controversy around Ezra Miller. So that's why I think probably people are like, I don't have faith in this movie because there's no faith in Ezra Miller. But,
or DC, really.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they're kind of making a good push.
I think,
the stuff that they're doing outside the DCEU is good.
Mm-hmm. These movies next year are gonna be the ones that like this new DC regime is touched. Like Black Adam came out when? August or October something, and I don't think the announcement for James Gunn didn't even like really start until after I think May of 2023. I mean he's there and working now, but he still has his split obligations because he's still working for Marvel. So I don't know. I'm hoping that these next few DC movies kind of get things back on track and we don't have to go.
Are they staying with Ezra Miller after this?
They haven't really said yes or no, but it's seeming like it's gonna be no.
No.
Because he's or they are facing
I feel like
trials.
they just kind of need to just stop here, reboot it. We can keep the same actors if you want, but just like start it over.
Well, I think they can. The Flash movie, they can just be like, oh, Flashpoint, when he time travels, things get messed up. You can recast literally.
But then it's
everybody.
like, why do I want to go watch that movie?
Because maybe there's a good story. I mean, why watch Flashpoint Paradox? It's one of the best animated movies that DC has produced.
Yeah.
Like, it tells the story of how things got changed. Why is it restarted? Because if they just started the next movie and they had a different actor for Batman and they pretended like nothing happened, like you would have needed to watch the Flash movie.
Yeah, they get to with something like Flashpoint. They kind of get to pick and choose what they want to keep and change, and they don't even have to do it all at once. You know, if the next 3 movies don't involve Batman, we just won't see Batman, and then maybe that next movie.
I feel like
why
that's
does Batman
dumb.
look different? It's a.
And I feel like it would
repercussion
also
of
be dumb
Flashpoint.
to just like keep some of the characters the same actors and then change some of them. I feel like that's worse than just starting it all over.
I think that what I would do if I was making the calls at DC is I would try to keep all of the actors that we've established already, except for Ezra Miller. I would just recast for the Flash.
Yeah.
At the like, and they got time. We've seen him squeeze in the Henry Cavill cameo was squeezed in within like a month. He shot it in September, and the movie came out in October. So all you have to do is get who we're gonna cast as a Flash. That's the guy we're picking. Great. Shoot a scene with him real quick. Where at the end of the movie they cut it in, and the Flash runs back to the regular timeline, and he looks up, and you just see a different actor's face.
The hardest part to
That's
me,
how you announce the recast.
I think the hardest
How did
part...
Ezra Miller agree to this? He's basically doing a movie to lose his job.
Well, it was they're cutting ties because of all the controversy.
For sure,
Yeah,
definitely.
so it wasn't like
I know, but like
probably
if
the contract was violated on Ezra Miller's part. You know?
so
they can,
like, why would he come back to do
They're-
it? You know what I
They're
mean?
probably contractually obligated to come back or face like a civil suit in court. The contract probably said contracts literally stipulate for these people like they'll be like 5 years out even like you have to maintain your physical health. You can't get out of shape. You can't get arrested. You can't have a
shave your
publicity
mustache.
scare, because all that stuff affects their money. So like that contract then says if you don't do this, we will like take everything that you own.
Yeah.
So like they're obligated then to work out and stay in good shape and not, you know, do something crazy out at a bar one night. So that's probably
multiple nights.
one of the biggest reasons.
Yeah, well, I think what you're asking is like if Ezra Miller's job's on the line, why come back and shoot the Flash? But I could be wrong. I'm not an inside man, but from my understanding, most of, if not all of the Flash movie was already shot when all this controversy started coming out.
Yeah.
And then they even did like additional photography during all of this controversy. So
I
you
heard
know, we don't know.
some rumors on the internet, the interwebs of maybe Aquaman taking up a different role.
Yeah. What I think
Jason
is-
Momoa taking a different role.
Yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't that be kind of confusing?
I don't think so. Only because
I just feel like it's not clean.
It's not too hard to follow for people like us. If it's like
Well,
a
I mean,
world we're in.
I disagree. I mean, if he's playing Aquaman, but he's also playing Lobo, that's the other character that they think he might play. Lobo's an alien, and they can, you know, do his makeup. He'll look way different. Marvel does the actress that plays Cersei played like a whole nother character before.
Like a small role though.
Yeah, and like
No, she was
It's
one
not
of
like-
the main characters in the
it's not
Captain Marvel movie.
it's not like Robert Downey Jr. is also playing Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but those are two human-looking characters. If you
Yeah, but
give
they're also two huge
Luke
characters
What's
in
his
the
name?
movie.
Mark Hamill plays not just Luke Skywalker. He plays all these other like side characters. If they look different enough, you just won't know. You could cast Vin Diesel as some Marvel hero, and he could still be Groot.
Yeah, I see
your point too.
I
but
see-
it's messy.
Aaron's point that it's weird. And not that it wouldn't work because, like you're saying, maybe you wouldn't even be able to tell that the two is the same actor. but it just feels strange to have the same actor credited for two drastically different roles that aren't like twins or somehow related. I do feel like
he's one of the like marquee members of the team, you know. Like
I'd rather just have them fight to get Carl Urban. Like I've seen a lot of fan cast for Carl Urban as Lobo, and I think he would be really great in that role.
Yeah, I'm not saying like I think that he'd be great as Lobo, but I think other actors could play Lobo too. That's fine, but I think it wouldn't really be an issue.
I also don't think the studio will let him change because.
Well, he'd still play both.
He'd still play both?
Yeah, Aquaman and Lobo.
That's stupid.
How much screen time are they going to share together?
It's still stupid.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
Why does he think he deserves to play both?
I think Jason Momoa. And it's Lobo. Like,
so
he basically is Lobo. Like, Lobo is supposed to be rad, and that's Jason Momoa is. So
I think that he would do a really good job in the role. I just think he's already Aquaman.
I don't think many people would really notice, if I'm being honest. Change his makeup enough, make him a little bit bigger with special effects and stuff. You know?
Yeah, I still just want it to be Carl Urban.
I see how it would work. I'm just saying that it's messy and that they should, if they're going to redo all this stuff, they just need to redo it right.
Well, we don't know what they're going to redo yet. If anything, there's an argument that Ezra Miller still plays the Flash. I mean,
especially if they're like changing the characters to some of the other people, and then he's just shifting to a different character or playing two. Like it's just all over the place. And for us, it's fine. Like I'll enjoy the movie the same. But for people that maybe aren't as much of nerds as we are, like it's definitely messy. You know, like one day it's Ben Affleck and the next day it's Matt Damon. You know, like and then the next movie it's insert other famous actor here. Like it's
for all we know though, nothing will change. For all we know, because like things are still good with.
But The Rock will be in every single movie.
Henry Cavill's back. Ben Affleck is back in some capacity. Yeah. You just got to sell him and pay him and get him.
Yeah.
So and then who else is there? Jason Momoa hasn't gone anywhere. The only one that they need to worry about is getting Ezra Miller like the help that they need.
And I think they might need to lock down Ray Fisher.
And they need to send Ray Fisher like a really good makeup letter because his beef isn't with the current leadership, but
Joss Whedon, right?
Josh Whedon, Walter Hamada, and like kind of the old regime. So all David Zaslav really has to do is, I think at least, make that first step because people love Ray Fisher as Cyborg and love Ray Fisher, and the fact that he, you know, was standing up and calling out like unacceptable behavior from his studio, which cost him his career as Cyborg so far, but this new leadership could be like, well, we're not going to treat you like that. We're going you want your own movie.
I'm going to cut you off right there. For those listening, what happened between them? Like, what's the drama that you're referring to?
So I don't know all the nitty gritty details, but basically, when shooting Justice League, the first version of Justice League that came out, the theatrical release, Warner Brothers got Josh Whedon, the director of Avengers 2012, to come in and take up that movie from Zack Snyder because he suffered a tragic personal loss. So he stepped away from the movie. And then Josh Whedon was, you know, very, I guess, hostile to the cast. Like, he told Gal Gadot something about, like, I'm going to ruin your career. And I guess, you know, treated Ray Fisher poorly. Even Ben Affleck has kind of alluded to it not being like...
And he directed Avengers?
Yeah, Josh Whedon.
2012. I think he kind of reduced the original vision for the movie, reduced some of the roles of certain characters that were in the original vision for the movie. I think Joss Whedon reduced some of the development of people like The Flash and Cyborg. Because you can see a lot more of them in the Snyder Cut.
In the Snyder Cut, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's
4 hours
double
long.
the length.
Right. Zack Snyder put a lot of focus on Cyborg, and excuse me, Josh Whedon kind of reduced him to a side character, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows? I don't know all the details. Maybe some of the things I'm saying is inaccurate, but
We're not there. We're not in the room.
We have
Yeah.
we have the opportunity for a clean slate, basically, is what I'm saying. And cut a high enough check, dude, they're gonna come back. You know, I'm telling you, give them a decent pay. They'll come back, and I think a heartfelt apology for and it's not David Zabslaw's fault or really any of James Gunn's fault. It's not James Gunn's fault that things have been handled like that. But what I would do if I was in those roles is say to these actors, like, we want you guys back, and we can assure you that you're not gonna, like, it's not gonna be this tumultuous anymore. We're gonna treat you right. We're gonna do justice for these characters, and like Cyborg's gonna be Cyborg, you know, and we're not gonna be cutting your role down to nothing and stuff like that. You know, give them the assurance, put it in the contract. You know, you're gonna have this. You get this movie, and you're gonna make appearances in these other movies. You know.
Well, Kevin Feige listens to our podcast, so maybe the higher ups at DC
he knows James
will as
Gunn,
well.
so he knows.
They're friends.
So maybe they'll be taking all your advice here and making things right, you know, and giving us good movies.
And now that Zach has helped repair the DCU,
I wish, man. I wish they would call
Get
me.
closer to your mic.
unless you guys have anything else that you want to say, I think this is as good a place as any to wrap up our little conversation.
I like it, yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. Again, like, comment, subscribe. YouTube. We're on TikTok, Instagram as well, and all the other podcast platforms. And that's a wrap.